and it's all just one-off new gimmicks. And one of the biggest problems that I have in the later parts of these games is that they will make the levels incredibly long, so that you're just working with this gimmick for a very long time, where you only have one checkpoint, because there's never more than one checkpoint in a stage in this game. So you just kind of end up needing to repeat and kind of re-practice these stages and these gimmicks until you get perfect at doing them, at which point you no longer need to do anything with them. Yeah, it's like, yeah, that's my diatribe about gimmick platformers and why I dislike how Rare does game design, and or at least part of it. I have many other complaints about how Rare does game design that we'll get into as we as they come up. So here we've got Cranky is starting to get a little bit obtuse with his things. Right is right at the start. Like, you just kind of need to interpret that to go right at the start of this stage. Look right from where you start. So there's like, it's a bit, it becomes less and less clearly stated as you go through what his hints are. Something important to note when powering up Espresso for your racing, you can freely redistribute your points. I did not know that. I'm just so used to skill systems where you assign your points and they're locked in, they're fixed. But in this, you can just reassign your points freely. Like, you have a number of points equal to the total number of gold feathers you've collected so far in the game, and if you need to respec your bird, if you get halfway through and realize, oh wait, the boost and fly stats are fucking useless, I'm gonna put everything into speed, you can do that, if you're aware that you can respec your skills, which I was not. So a couple of these I had to redo, because I wound up, as you can see, I leveled boost up to 3, thinking, oh, well, you know, I've got get more boosts, but as I was eventually going through here, I'm finding that, like, A, there's not that many boosts on the stage. You should just be using them regularly, and you shouldn't try to, like, accumulate them. And B, if you're not in first place, the other racers will collect all of the boosts and feathers on the level, like that. You just saw right there, that other ostrich collected that feather. So, like, if you don't have the top speed and just, like, the skill of hitting the boost pads on the ground, that's really, like, the way to beat these races, is hit the boost pads on the ground. Don't walk into the slow terrain that slows you down. Occasionally use the boosts to avoid the slow terrain that slows you down. But, yeah, like, at its core, you just want to go fast. Like, the boosts aren't strictly necessary if you're hitting all of the 4 panels. So, it just kind of, again, the boost and flight stats are, in a lot of ways, kind of worthless. So, once again, having a big, old, long saving period, because I feel like it shouldn't take this long to save on a cartridge, but I guess, like, it takes that long to save in, say, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. That had kind of a lengthy pause when saving the game. It just feels like this game shouldn't have as much data that needs to be saved. And it probably doesn't, but I do know for a fact that Rare is not very good at efficient programming and handling data correctly. They have, on occasion, completely... They've introduced, like, hardcore game-breaking bugs, and sometimes console-breaking bugs, because they can't handle data correctly sometimes. Yeah, this is Squawks' Shaft. There's another photo of just a guy walking around over there. That one's kind of a freebie. Really, it's just sort of there as a, if you got Wrinkly's scrapbook, if you've been to Wrinkly Kong and talked about homework once, then, like, you have the thing and you can get that free. Otherwise, it's not there. So, like, that's a weird one. Some of the photos are just kind of, like, outright gimmies, which is, I guess, kind of nice. They want to make sure that you find some of them very, very easily, and others are, you know, more difficult to explore and find. You know, it feels good to find some things. If you find nothing at all, then, you know, that could feel discouraging. But yeah, we've got here, in addition, this stage has kind of two gimmicks to it. It's got those crooks, the guys that throw the boomerang hook things. That's not quite a pure stage gimmick because that is an enemy that recurs, that comes back in other stages. But again, this is the stage that we'll see once we get to the second half of the stage does introduce Squawks. So this one is less of a gimmick stage and more of a core mechanic introducing stage. By the way, I fucking hate the way that the camera wobbles back and forth like that so much. I had this problem in a lot of the Donkey Kong Land games where the camera of this 2D game is incredibly bad. That, it's a problem of them, in this case, the levels having originally been designed for the SNES, that's, you know, the Game Boy Advance doesn't have the resolution to display the full thing, so they have to do all of these extra stupid things, shifting the camera to give you the opportunity to see what is in front of you, so that you can actually progress in the stage and play the game. And, like, in this, like, they add this sometimes very noticeably harsh wobbling in the camera, where it'll just kind of go back and forth in a way that can be very, dizzying, almost. It's something that can definitely cause motion sickness. We'll see that very notably a little bit later. Very soon, actually, I think. Well, not very soon, pretty soon. Anyway, here's Squawks! He's a bird. He flies, he carries you and flies around, and he can spit nuts out of his mouth, because that's a thing that birds do, is they just store infinite nuts and can fire them out like a gun. And, this, I'm not actually sure. I don't remember if Wrinkly ever tells you this explicitly, but it's very important to know that Squawks can also ascend and descend faster by holding up and down on the D-pad. Same thing as you can do with swimming. So, yeah, I'm not 100% certain whether or not Wrinkly ever tells you that, but it is absolutely vital to know for certain areas to get by, especially later in the game. We're going to see something where it is very, very vital to know all of the ways that the game works. So over here, there's a little secret path behind the crook. This is one of the hints that Cranky gives you, that the two crooks that are facing each other are guarding something secret. So you go behind the one of them to find this hidden area that's got the little video game coin, and this bonus area where you just spit nuts at hornets. And then, kind of annoyingly, you can't just go to the left here. The stage is over there to the left. There's just a wall along that spot of the stage that you can't cross for arbitrary reason. Like, that's another thing that I kind of dislike about some of their level design, is they kind of force you along the critical level path in some arbitrary ways sometimes. Especially for levels that have both vertical and horizontal aspects to them. We're going to see one egregious example of that late in the game. But here, there's just kind of an annoying thing of like, yeah, there's clearly nothing stopping Squawks from going between here, except for the arbitrary limitations of, we made the video game not let you. So it's a kind of thing that breaks immersion a little bit. But, I mean, there's a lot that they don't really have an interest in immersion in these games, which is sometimes fair. It's fair. They're not making an immersive game, they're making a video game. Anyway, moving on. We've got the boss of the world, but before we do the boss of the world, we have to do the secret of the world, Klubba's Kiosk. So, every world except for the first has Klubba here. And, Klubba guards the entrance to the Lost World. And it's this thing that's what all these Creme coins that you find in all the bonus stages are for. You spend them at Klubba to get through, to unlock stages in the Lost World. And there's an extra thing here, because, like, all of the NPCs that you can talk to have, like, an extra thing here, there, where he's got, like, an extra minigame that you can do, and we'll see that in a little bit. But, you come here, and you can, game? Question marks? So, he's got this little game. First one's free, otherwise it costs, I think it's 5 coins per play, 5 banana coins. I am once again annoyed at the use of pieces of 8 to describe these coins. It's, like, I just get annoyed by people throwing that in as, like, oh, it's a piratey way to talk about money, and it's really not. There's a specific type of coin that it referred to, and there's a reason for it, and I'm not going to get into that. This is a thing, Bag-a-Bug. You're running around in this shack in a swamp area, and you need to collect fireflies. You've got a little jar off to the right there that you collect fireflies, but also Klubba is here trying to fucking murder you. And there, you saw I had an invulnerability barrel. It's got an invincibility barrel that'll spawn sometimes, but it doesn't last as long as the invincibility barrels do in the main game, and it wore off exactly as he was attacking me. So if Klubba ever hits you, you lose all of your collected fireflies, and just kind of have to start over grabbing stuff. There's these 4 corner spots that you can hide in if Klubba is getting close that he cannot get to. Like right here, you see, like, he can't enter the little corner area, and that's how you avoid getting murdered if you're getting kind of boxed in. He's closing in on you. And you get a reward based on how many bugs, how many fireflies you collected. It's bananas, and, like, if you get enough of them, eventually I think you can get some coins, you'll get lives. It's another way to, like, do a bonus thing to get some lives. Like the boss reruns with Swanky. So, naturally, I played it once and never again. I like how he's there threatening to slice you in 2 with his club. His just giant nail bat. And he also at some point threatens to run you through with his club. He's strong enough that he can just do those things. You know, there's nothing stopping him from slicing you with a blunt object. Anyway, here's the Lost World. You get to the Lost World, and it's got, like, a map thing, and this is kind of new for this version of the game, because in the original version, there wasn't, like, a full map to the Lost World. It was just each Klubba's Kiosk sent you to one stage of the Lost World. And here's just what it looks like to enter the Lost World after you've already paid for it. Now, once you've paid to unlock it, you can enter and leave at any time.